What is going on, guys? I am LaserBolt and welcome to another Gotham Knights video, guys. Today I'm going to present you one of the most unique and different builds for Robin. I know a lot of people are going elemental and I will have an elemental build as well, but I wanted to bring you guys a different way of playing Robin because I don't know if you know, but Robin is the hardest hitting knight in the game. And just by knowing that, of course, I'm going to put a build together that's going to be wrecking everything. Pretty much, you one melee almost everything in the game. Now, there's some times that you probably have to hit them twice, but the majority of the time, your melees are going to be proccing 6,000, 7,000, even 10,000 just on melee hits without getting any buffs. You could even go as high as 25 to 20 million on just one hit. So if all of this sounds awesome, a like would be greatly appreciated. And let's go ahead and talk about what you're going to need to do to put this build together. Now, like always, guys, if you find these videos helpful and informative, a like would be greatly appreciated. And massive shout out to all the people who are becoming members by hitting that join button down below. It means a lot, guys. Click that join button now. What are you waiting for, man? Come on now. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at the inventory. The reason I always like to start with the inventory and I really don't start off with the skills is because I base my builds off of whatever gear I personally get, and then I synergize that gear so you guys can understand what we're building up, all right? So let's go ahead and start off with the suit. For the suit, we're using the linked suit. Now, I would have a different suit here, which is the one that has the 4 mod slots, which is the one I would recommend. I just haven't had a chance to actually farm it, but that's what I would use here just because I want my power to go as high as I possibly can. Right now, if you notice, my power is at 10,000. I know if I get the 4 mod slot suit, I can get this up to 12, even increasing the damage that I'm doing with this particular build. But right now, I have the linked suit at the current moment. If you want to find out how to get the 4 mod suit, check out the pinned comment in the comment section below or check out that video. Now, let's take a look at what we got from this particular video. So from this particular video, the reason we love this particular suit in general is we have the counter strike, which is really good. It's anytime you knock down an enemy, it's going to go ahead and cancel the damage you take on the next hit. Really good. Not exceptional, but really good. Then we have the other one, Revive Stalwart. That one doesn't really matter because we're not reviving anybody at the current moment. Maybe for when the DLC comes out, this might be very helpful. But the reason we really like this particular build that lets us clear rooms instantly is the ultimate power. This is going to increase damage for a short duration after using your ultimate ability. This is what's going to let you hit those 20k, 15k, even 25k damage hits when you're playing this particular build. Because when you pop your ultimate ability, the damage is going to get increased so high that when you start critting, those crit shots are going to shoot up really, really high. Now, that's the reason we're running that particular suit. So that's the main bread and butter of this particular build is we want to make sure when we start and engage a fight, I'll explain a little bit how you want to do that later in the video. Now, for our melee weapon, guys, we are running the overtime effect bow staff. Now, I was kind of going back and forth, like, should I put elemental damage? Should I not put elemental damage? But guys, this bow in particular, I wish I could get it grade 2 because that would be even more of a monster. If anybody knows where to farm this particular bow, let me know because I do want to farm myself a grade 2 one of this. So what does this do? It has perfect heal, grants heal over time after performing a perfect evade. I mean, we do perfect evades, but we're not constantly doing it because we're killing people so fast, perfect evades are not even happening. We do have perfect momentum though, which is going to increase the momentum build up over time after performing a perfect evade. But we're still not getting any sort of benefit from this bow because by the time we get a chance to do a perfect evade, the fight's pretty much over. So it's just kind of crazy. But that's what we're running right now. Now, the reason we love running this bow is because of its crit chance and its crit shot, guys. On this one, we're getting 70%, 69% of crit chance. So basically, guys, out of every 10 hits I make, 3 of them are not going to be a critical. Only 7 are, which is crazy. If I could get this to 80, oh my goodness, it's going to be bread and butter. And we get 269 crit damage, which is pretty crazy, guys. Awesome. So that's the reason we want this bow because it's one of the highest hitting crit damage weapons currently right now in the game. Now, if you guys have a bow that hits harder than this, make sure you guys go over to Discord link down below and post a picture. I do want to see what that looks like. So let me know in the comment section down below. And last but not least, guys, for our ranged weapon, which is going to be tying it perfect here, we have the Jumpstart Slingshot. Now, the reason we love this one is because of these beautiful perks and abilities, which are going to do the following. So we have Ruthless Power, it's going to increase damage for a short duration after dealing critical damage. We're dealing critical damage every single time, so I will explain how you want to initiate the fight to make everything work in synergy in this build, but you guys are pretty much getting the idea already, right? Your damage is getting increased for every shot after dealing critical damage. Then we have critical will, which is going to increase critical damage and instantly grab momentum when health is low. Sometimes we're letting our health go down just so we could get that increase in critical damage and that extra momentum, which is really crazy. So sometimes you want to let your health come a little bit low just to get that crit shot even high. That's when we're able to practice 30Ks, but it's a high risk, high reward type of situation. Then we have knockout heal. Once again, knocking an enemy with momentum ability instantly heals a certain amount of health. We're using this kind of because we kill enemies so quickly with this build. It's just really, really crazy. But the main ones we're using are the top two. Now, I know what you guys are saying. You saw some of the gameplay. You're probably like, Laser, what difficulty is that? That's one of the questions I get asked a lot. I make games look easy, guys, because I'm just that good. Now, the thing is, here is the thing. I'm going to run gameplay of me playing this on easy and this me playing this on hard as I am explaining these particular builds. You really won't notice the difference. The only difference that you notice is the crit shots. One equates to 5,000, 7,000. On hard, it equates to, I believe it's 35 to 55,000, but the time that you kill out the enemies is the same. So it doesn't really matter. You're doing a ton of damage. Now, with that being said, guys, I'm going to play that in the background and let's go ahead and take a look at the abilities. So we're going to get started on what abilities I recommend if you guys are level below, you guys are like 30 and below. Then I'm going to tell you guys what skill tree you guys should prefer and why. So we're going to... All right, guys. So let's go ahead and tell you guys what you need if you are 30 and below and the ones I recommend you unlock first. So, of course, you're going to get the perfect evade right off the bat. I would go to the left-hand side and start with the critical expert, which is going to increase Robin's critical damage by 20%. You're going to go ahead and go back damage. Robin deals 20% more damage when attacking enemies from behind. You don't know how many times you actually hit people from behind, and this actually procs. Then we go with Precise Strike, which is going to increase Robin's chance of landing a critical hit by 10%. And last but not least, guys, I would leave this one for last since we're not currently doing any sort of elemental effect damage. I would leave this for last, but I would still pick it up because as you're leveling up, you are going to be getting a lot of staffs that have elemental damage, and this is going to come into play. So I highly recommend you guys do this. With this build, we're not even taking advantage of this, but if we did take advantage of this, it would be even more crazier and deadly. We do plan on taking advantage of it once we have the perfect build, but as of right now, we are not taking advantage of it. Then we have this one, guys, which is elemental decoy. This one, you're going to be using your decoy a lot, and it's very effective. And of course, you're going to have elemental damage as well. And then we have Robin decoy explosions, leaving behind elemental residue, dealing elemental effect and damage. These three right here are going to be primarily focused on elemental damage. Since we aren't using elemental damage with this particular build, it doesn't really come into play. But I would still pick them up because eventually, once we get the right slingshot, we will be taking advantage of this. Just that right now with this build, I don't have the right slingshot. So we're not taking advantage of this because our slingshot is not causing any elemental damage. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look. Shadow skill tree. Now the shadow skill tree is really important because when you're playing this build, sometimes you just want to make things in life easier and you want to kill big enemies really fast. This is going to allow you to sneak up to them and bring them down. So we have the one called light-footed. Robin produces no sound while running and moving faster, crouched, which is really effective. You could slide and assassinate, really cool here. Then we have Robin's damage is increased while undetected, melee range attack plus 10 and takedown stealth strike plus 20. Really effective, allowing you to almost one kill everything that comes your way. Then we have Robin can perform takedowns and stealth strikes on large enemies. Highly recommend you guys pick this up as quickly as you possibly can. It's going to make your life really easy. Then we have Vantage hanging takedown. This one we picked it up just because we have to, but we don't even use this at all. Then we have reduced visual stem. Robin is harder to spot on enemies, take longer to notice him. Really important that you pick this up, guys. You can literally sneak up to like a team of 5 and assassinate someone and they still won't know what happened. Then we have a successful takedown, restores 25% of Robin's health. This is really good and it's going to come into play so much because when we pick up a skill that actually makes us vanish when we do the takedown, this is going to be very effective. Then we have a tinkering, which is going to go ahead and kind of do a lot of elemental stuff. So we have elemental effect buildup inflicted on Robin is increased by 25% faster. So once again, elemental damage there. Then we have precision save. Robin's pellets can stick to surfaces. Create temporary mines, placing a second mine deactivates the first one. This is really helpful, especially if you want to stun enemies, especially those annoying Court of Owl ones that kind of rush you. You literally place these on the ground and they will automatically get stunned, and you can just automatically grab them and kill them. Then we have Robin can place up to 3 sticky pellets, really helpful. Then we have sticky pellets inflict 33% more damage and last up to 10 seconds. We have Robin elemental effect resistance increased by 40. Really helpful, especially with fighting certain enemies. This actually comes into play. Then we have when Robin deals elemental damage, he gains 5% chance of dealing additional elemental damage. Once again, more elemental play here. And elemental effect inflicted by Robin lasts twice percent as longer. So what I would do, guys, is always start off with your slugger tree, then work on your shadow tree, then go to your tinker tree. Now, let's take a look at the Knighthood abilities. I personally in this build have all of them unlocked, and this actually works really good. So let's talk about what we have. So we have this one, which is what I explained. Performing a takedown increases Robin's damage, critical chance, defense, and elemental effect buildup for 15 seconds. So this is really good. And once again, we are going to talk about how we actually synergize this build, because take this into account. We usually, when I start a fight, guys, I always start with a takedown just to get this increment of a damage chance here. So it's a 15 seconds. It lasts pretty long. Then we have Robin aerial attack are followed by a small cloud of smoke that allows him to re-enter stealth. Really important, especially with him, because we're getting critical buffs from doing takedowns and doing stealth kills. So this comes into play a lot if you use it properly. Then we have Robin's microbots ability cooldown is reduced by 20%, allowing Robin to call it more often. We definitely need that, because even though I still think it needs to actually to get buffed to reduce the amount of cooldown. Then we have increased the number of attacks Robin's melee and range combos by 1. The last melee hits is a knockout. Really important, because remember, we are getting some benefits from knockout, but it really doesn't come into play that much. Then we have Robin opens a small portal and pulls an enemy through it to perform a takedown. This one could be helpful, but I don't find myself using it that much. So this is like, I mean, if you want to kind of not pick this one up and you want to go here, you're more than welcome to, but I personally still pick it up. It could work, especially for when the mode comes out. So I would still pick it up just in case. And then we have Robin improves the particle acceleration and the microcore energy. He can now call 5 microbots. This pretty much his ultimate is crazy good. All right, guys. So now let's take a look at the momentum abilities and talk about the ones I use. I'm only going to mention the ones I use the majority of the time, because I feel like those are the best ones to actually use. Okay, so there's a couple ones here that I find are always using. So I use the nanobots a lot, or the microbots. Dude, this is like how I lead my fight, and this is just automatically, you guys see the clips, it's just automatically wrecks. The other one that I use a lot, guys, is this one right here, which is the fireworks. I think this is overpowered, and I believe it might get nerfed. This is just really good, and the amount of times I'm able to use this is just, I mean, I use it once and then almost everybody's instantly dead, but if there were more enemies, I think I would probably use it more often. The other one that I find myself using quite a lot is this one right here, guys, which is this one, which is the rapid spin. This is only when there's like a big enemy that I really want to take out, but I hardly ever use it just because everybody's dead by the time I end up wanting to use it. So there you guys have it. That is the 3 that I actually cycled through. I do like this one just because that does inflict fear, and anything that inflicts fear is going to buff a little bit. So you might want to use that just to inflict fear, but I kind of just use those 3, to be honest, with this build. It just pretty much kills and decimates everything in the area. So now let's talk about how you synergize and how you actually play this and approach this. First of all, most guys, you want to start off with a takedown just to get that extra increment of critical damage. After you start with the takedown, guys, you want to go ahead and land inside and call in your microbots. Your microbots are going to come out and it's going to go inflict fire on the enemy, causing that elemental damage. Once again, we're still getting the buff from the elemental damage with our microbots, so that comes into play. But once we start hitting someone and we get our first crit, I like to throw my slingshot, due to the fact that my slingshot is going to hit even harder when I hit that because of that critical shot. So that comes really into play due to the fact that I'm able to even hit up to like 4K just with one slingshot. So it's really crazy. And I'm telling you guys, you really don't need elemental with this build. It is just so good. put this build together, test it out. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section down below. A better suit, better arm, better weapon, better melee weapon, better range weapon. Drop it in the comment section down below. Hope you guys are finding our videos helpful and informative. Are doing me a huge favor, guys. Drop a comment, drop a like. But most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Turn on all your notifications so you guys won't miss when our videos go live. Thank you guys for watching, and big shout out to all you members who decided to join. Check out this video that popped up right now on the screen. It's going to help you out quite a lot. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.